Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I have back on once again Paul Vuocolo of Truenemy. He has a brand new cover single out. It's called Almost Honest, and I'm so excited to talk about this one. Paul, what's up? How you been? What's going on?
Hey, Austin, I'm doing well. It's good to be here again chatting with you.
Always a
Just
pleasure.
likewise, it's surviving the bitter cold here in Michigan. Like I said, it's
Yep.
like negative 2, feels like -2, and it's going to be pretty cold the next few days. So hunker down in the basement for a while. Maybe I'll see
Hunker
sunlight on
down,
Friday.
rock it out,
Yeah,
staying warm. Love that.
something like that. Yeah.
This song rips. I could use a million different describers to describe this song, but it absolutely rips from start to finish. I want to jump right into it. I want to know, I want to give me your relationship with Megadeth and how this song came about, why you chose this one
Yeah.
specifically.
Oh man, we're gonna need a lot of time. We're going on. But
Give
this
the
song, let's start
director's
with this.
cut.
Yeah, right. That's funny. This song in particular, I guess, so I'm a huge Megadeth fan, so there's tons of songs to pick from.
Right.
There's there's some more radio friendly songs like this one,
Sure.
less intricate, less intricate riffing, less crazy Marty Friedman solos. But this song kind of came about from years ago when we were playing it live. It was just one of those songs where we're like, hey, let's play a Megadeth song. And this was one that everyone could go, I can play that. We don't have to rehearse a ton for that.
Right.
And then it kind of became so a live performance of that became like our top viewed YouTube video.
Hell yeah.
And I always, had in the back of my mind, oh, I think we kind of like need to do a studio version of that. So finally got around to it, and that's how it came to be being the first Megadeth cover, True Enemy, recorded in the studio.
I'm surprised it took this long, especially, you've been playing it for a while and but that's the thing is like with a band like this that has such an extensive discography, I know it can be difficult to choose because especially playing in a band and having so many opinions and things like that. Oh, we should play this one. Oh, I can't play this one because it's too complicated. I know that you landed on this because, for lack of a better word, easier to play. Um, but I guess, like, is it a personal favorite or was it just a possible song?
A little bit of both. I mean, I pretty much love their entire catalog.
Yeah, of course.
This one is just fun to play and sing.
Nice.
And guitar solo wise, it's a Marty Friedman solo that I could pull off. So like it
Hmm.
was just one where you look at it all together and you can felt like it could play all the parts and make it happen. So
Sure.
um, but yeah, there's so many songs I like of theirs,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to just start recording Megadeth covers, so it just felt like the timing was right
Yeah.
to unleash
No.
this.
Unleash is the perfect describer because it really feels like an unleashing of the song. Honestly, from the opening notes until the end, like it's gripping to say the least.
Nice.
And I know when it comes to putting covers out, especially of like story bands like this, but even anyone else that decides to cover a song of an artist, there's always some sort of backlash. Oh, it didn't sound the way that it should. Oh, you guys are hacky or whatever. People always have something bad to say.
Yeah.
People are always going to be haters in the comment sections.
Right,
But I
right.
feel like this band's community is pretty tight knit. And I hope, like, optimistic in some sense. Have you received any, like, what is the word been since the song has been out? And obviously you've had the cover out for a while. What's like been the consensus?
I would say I felt pretty confident because the live performance always had great comments and feedback. So I
Sure.
felt like we could recreate that in the studio, and I feel like we did, and I think it does it enough justice. It's pretty faithful, and it keeps it brings in some elements from some different performances. Like there's a lot of
Hmm.
different versions of the song. The original has a lot of like industrial sound effects, and
Yeah.
we put a little of that in, but we didn't try to recreate all that. There was like an instrumental version Marty Friedman released in Japan. It was actually under Megadeth. I think it was called Cryptic Sounds, No Voices in Your
Sweet.
Head. So there's some little instrumental bits in there we brought in. There was the original Fades Out, right, on the album, on the
Sure.
Cryptic Writings, Megadeth's Cryptic Writings album. We finished ours like they do live for many years,
Hell
where they
yeah.
kind of put an extra bar and go out with a boom with the drums. So it's kind of a nod to like, yeah, I'm a Megadeth fan. I'm a big Megadeth fan. I know how they did all these little things, so we're going to sprinkle it in. We're going to be faithful,
Exactly.
do it. We're not Megadeth, but we love them and we know all the nuance that's in there. So
Right.
I hope the
Actually,
fans like
yeah.
it.
No, I can't see why they wouldn't. But I do want to focus in on a certain point because I've had conversations with people who decide to go with, cover songs. Doesn't need to be metal, it can be anything. And I always find that they have the urge to try to do something different to make it their own, which when it comes to covering a song, there's no right or wrong answer. You know what I'm saying? Like you either do it
Yeah.
faithfully or you try to put your own spin on it. I find that putting your own spin on it can garner those comments of like, why didn't you choose to be faithful to it? But having now listened to this and obviously listening to the original, I personally enjoy that it's faithful for the most part. What was, I guess, the conversation going into this? Because I'm sure there was a conversation of should we try something new or should we, go word for word essentially?
Yeah, the conversation, I mean, for me, I think if I ever did I always knew if I did a Megadeth cover, it would be faithful because I know
Cool.
that Dave Mustaine himself puts a lot of attention to detail into all his songs and
Yeah.
crafting and I don't know, I can really appreciate that and because I do the same myself. So I it's kind of a way of just showing respect. I don't really
There you
see
go.
most of their modern catalog, not early 90s forwards, isn't open for a lot of reinterpretation. Maybe I'm just showing my age. I'd say maybe before the first three albums, I could see some reinterpretation just because sonically they weren't the best sonic recordings.
Sure.
But these I just felt like let's kind of try and let's just kind of make it just a faithful recording. I keep saying that, but
No,
um,
it's true though. It's true.
yeah,
I completely understand that. I think it also has to do with like, first off, the metal community is very serious. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they will rip you to shreds in the comment
exactly.
sections and on Reddit and all their, all the little communities and things like that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you played it safe because again, like it's very much a cover single in your own interpretation, but very faithful to the original. And I think it also depends on like the gravitas of the band. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If it's a newer,
yeah,
if the song has been put out in the last 5 to 10 years, I think that opens up a reinterpretation and reimagining. But a
right,
song like
right,
this that's been out for, a while, if you're not doing it almost to the T, then yeah, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. And I think
right.
that's sort of where the conversation ends on that front.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I consider it a lot. They're getting ripped to
Yeah,
shreds, but I feel like we did it justice. And I posted it, I haven't gone crazy like, hey guys, check this out, but I did post it in the
right.
Marty Friedman Facebook group and
Nice.
I got positive response. So that's
Hell
good.
yeah.
'Cause, like I
Very
feel like
cool.
Marty Friedman fans would be like, you butchered the guitar solo, so
Well,
feel
yeah.
pretty
In
good
my
about that.
in my experience, Facebook is the most brutal of the comment sections because
Right.
people, even though their pictures and names are on there, they do not care. They will say how they feel. So if you got the
Yeah.
approval there, then I feel like you're good to go overall.
Right on.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Feel good
Uh,
about it. I was going to
totally.
quickly add
Please, please.
one of one of the considerations to kind of answer a little bit more of your question was a lot of the stuff I've been putting out is kind of reworking older recordings, blending in some new. This one's all new, and but at first it was like, do we record it with those same sonics as the old stuff so it feels like a
Sure.
part? And kind of started out that way and just listen and go, nope, doesn't do it justice. Got to go all in with modern tone and all that. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, please walk me through the recording process because I know so much of obviously putting any song together is achieving those tones and achieving those sounds and like you've got the instrumentation but so much of it comes from the production and the tweaks and this and that. I know that you had the song down playing it live, but how was the actual process of like putting the final touches on it? How much work went
Oh
into
man.
that?
Yeah, so I worked with Chuck Alkazian at Pearl Sound Studios again on this
Sure.
one.
Cool.
And I did a lot of revisiting the song because there's like, it's one thing to kind of play it live, having fun. And then when
Yeah.
you're going to commit to a studio recording, you're like, I better go re-listen to everything and make sure I remembered
Yes,
what exactly, because it's gonna, if it gets picked apart, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. So
for real.
there was a lot of let me listen to this version, let me listen to that
Mhm.
version, let me listen to it with headphones on so I can hear the
Yeah,
details. Let me listen to what they're doing on the bass. Uh, the drums are the hardest. I program the drums, and
nice.
so Nick Menza was an amazing drummer. He passed away a few years ago,
Uh,
but he hits really hard and he's really tight. He's really on. He's like right there on tempo all the time. So I kind of painstakingly kind of like put the original track and then my drum programming tracks and just look for all the peaks and just mapped them all out. It matches pretty darn well.
nice.
Threw in a couple things he does live too, just to kind of change it up.
Sure.
Different hits, different fills. And like I said, the different ending of the song. But yeah, so there's that. There's kind of like the building the drums is really intense process. And then I had recorded bass and guitar at home. And then that's when I took it to the studio to kind of start mixing and recording vocals. It just wasn't hitting hard enough. So we
Uh,
re-recorded the bass and re-recorded the guitars. And my original guitars are in there subtly,
sure.
just a little texture, but we reamped and recorded new DI guitars. So
Awesome.
with amp modeling, so it's pretty sweet. And it's
Amazing.
Chuck honed in on the tone. It's very similar to the rhythm guitar tone as well. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, for anyone listening or watching, if you're going to listen to this, which you need to, headphones are the best because you're really going to hear everything that you wouldn't otherwise.
Right.
For people that are just casually listening on their laptop, this isn't the song for you. You really got to get into this one. Yeah, the attention to detail is awesome.
Awesome.
Uh, Now, hypothetically speaking, especially as a fan of metal music, if you were to tackle another song from another storied band, and I guess I know that you've put out songs like that before, do you have anything else in mind? Something that you might work towards, something that might be a little too complicated to play?
No, I'm not necessarily hesitant of going into the complicated arena at all. I
Sure.
think depending on the guitar solo of the song, I might have to seek out, a guest soloist.
Sure.
But definitely there's a Metallica cover in the future.
Cool.
Uh,
Cool.
and don't know where that could go, but we played a lot of that back in the day, from Battery to Seek and Destroy.
Yeah.
So those are kind of out there. Definitely there'd be another Megadeth cover at some point. But yeah, I would say Metallica is another one I would consider.
Always a crowd pleaser. No matter where you go, people know Metallica.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. And hey, so we're recording this right at the beginning of the year. Have you mapped out 2026? What's happening? What might be in the works that you can talk about?
And I have another single in the works because originally I was
Hell yeah.
trying to squeeze out an original song entitled Penitent Fate.
Cool.
Uh, it's kind of I'm learning that I like to kind of write my songs almost sometimes feel like they're soundtracks, right? I get inspired by something. I feel like I'm writing a soundtrack song or something. So,
Well,
uh,
I always get a cinematic feel from your music.
oh, cool.
So I guess that explains a lot then.
There we go. Yeah, no, I had a previous song that was a demo, and re-listening to it, I'm just like, it needs polished, right? And the lyrics
Sure.
were kind of disjointed. So, but in the spirit of that song and the original lyrics, um, I kind of it occurred to me there's Dante's Inferno out there, which is this old Italian, they call it comedy, but poem of the travel from hell to purgatory to heaven kind of thing.
Sure.
So yes, it's a cool story. Fits perfectly with the song, and it's kind of the dark metal kind of thing, but
Nice.
a little bit more of a redemption tone in the end. So yeah, that one's a fun one. Another kind of
Cool.
like visual song journey, visual lyrical journey. So that working on vocals for that, and that could be out in February or March.
Oh, okay, that's really soon.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Amazing. What else is going on in terms of like, are you getting out there and playing shows? Like, how did you wrap up 2025? Because we haven't talked in a little bit.
How did I write? Well, yeah, I maybe get a shot. I didn't play anything live last year.
It's all right.
But maybe someday get back out there. I would tell you that 2025, I did a lot of getting a lot of songs like up to the runway. So I got a lot of drum parts finished and
Cool.
guitar and vocals mapped out so that we can kind of have a more quick release schedule. So there was a
Sure.
lot of effort put into all that last year. So that
Nice.
just kind of go in the studio, singing some vocals or dropping in a couple missing tracks and boom. So
That sounds to me like the delayed gratification of setting yourself up for success in the next
yeah,
year.
for
So,
sure.
because people think you just sit at a computer, churn out a song, and it's there in a day. I think the average person has no idea what actually goes in. Like, oh,
Right.
you just get in there and record. No, that's not how it works. There's a lot
Oh,
more. So,
not at all. I mean, I would say with Almost Honest, that song had a lot of layers to it, and there's a lot of there's acoustic guitars, there's rhythm guitars, there's double guitars going on, right? Um, and then the vocals. There's a lot of vocal harmonies and stuff
right.
going on. So that song has a lot of layers to it. So that was a lot
Yeah,
of work and a
a
lot of
lot
things to pay
going
attention,
on.
make sure they were like all meshing together. So
Awesome.
a lot of work, a lot of work.
Yeah, clearly. I have a few more questions for you.
Yeah, go
I
for it.
want to know for anyone who might be watching this who is potentially unfamiliar with Megadeth, how would you recommend they kind of like get into it? Whether it be a
Oh,
specific album or like just like drop some knowledge on the people.
yeah, I mean, I would say probably the way I did. So I kind of got into metal in the early 90s. So I kind of missed the 80s Megadeth. And I do like some of that. And a lot of people know those like Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? That's probably one of the most
Sure,
popular. In My Darkest Hour. But then you get into Rust in Peace, which is like over time becoming like, you know, a well-respected thrash metal album that like set a standard, right? There's just
sure.
the songwriting, the playing, the riffage, the melody, just everything about when you spin that from beginning to end, that's quite a journey that like there's nothing quite like that. So I would
Yeah.
if you're looking to dive into Megadeth at their peak thrash
Mm-hmm.
with what's called the Rust in Peace era lineup. So that's Dave Mustaine, David Ellefson, Nick Menza, Marty Friedman. That lineup put out Rust in Peace, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia, and Cryptic Writings. And good Lord, am I forgetting something? I think that's it. But those four albums, you can just sense how they gelled, and Marty brought something to the band, and it just and Nick's drum playing, just it all just got really tight. And so yeah, if you start with Rust in Peace, and then there's Countdown to Extinction, which goes, uh, they kind of drop the beats per minute a little bit,
Yeah.
but they're still just intricate, and the playing is so succinct and lyrically, it's really cool where
Hell
it
yeah,
goes.
man.
Just if you're especially if you're a guitar player or aspiring guitar player, rock and roll or thrash or metal guitar player, the stuff you can learn from that is I mean it's game changing. So
I agree.
yeah, so that's all I would just say start at Rust in Peace and dive into the Rust in Peace era lineup and go from there through Cryptic Writings. But
Amazing. No, that's
yeah.
exactly the answer I was looking for because I think a lot of people who enjoy modern metal may not. I mean, who knows? They didn't dig into the classics, and now we have the human encyclopedia of Megadeth telling me
Sure.
everything I need to know. Um, okay, hypothetically, for someone listening to this song, where do you think the ideal setting would be for them to enjoy it the most?
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. I always find listening to the car. That's when it's just me in the car. It's like you can just crank it, really be in the moment.
Yeah,
So yeah, crank it in your car and enjoy it and feel the music hit you because yeah, it hits hard.
there you go. Cool. All right, perfect. And then basically my last thing is like for anyone that is unfamiliar again with the music in the recording process, is there anything important that I may not have asked you that you think people should know before they enjoy the song?
Um, I think it kind of covered everything. I think it's we paid tribute to with visually the artwork
Yeah,
kind of goes more towards the simple, like a lot of the artwork on previous True Enemy releases is pretty, not, it's a little more involved, right? It's a little more conceptual, but
sure.
this plays off the cryptic writings where it's just straight up text and two color kind of thing going on. So everything about this is kind of a pays homage, and there was a thing with the original cryptic writings where they did like these voodoo vavy symbols. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And there was mention of like hobo symbols and stuff. So I went with kind of like you'll see a little symbol in the bottom right corner, and that is something a hobo would have. They had like secret language they would have written on a
Sure.
fence or a wall that said a dishonest person lives here. So that's what that
Did not
means.
know that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, perfect. Paul, always a pleasure getting to talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well,
Before we wrap up here, please let me plug this again. If you've made it this far in the conversation, you probably know, but I'm speaking with Paul Vuocolo of Truenemy. The song is called Almost Honest. As always, we'll have the links everywhere so that you can listen, share, and follow along. But it sounds like you put in the work in 2025 for a huge 26. I'm
yeah.
excited to see what comes, whether it's covers, originals, anything. I just want more music.
Right on.
Truly, thank you, man. You're the best.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Austin.
All right. Have an amazing rest of your night, and I hope to speak soon.
You too. See ya.
Awesome. Talk to you later.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Yep.